Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. So soon you'll know whether it's guilt or innocence, and soon you'll know if he is going to go on my list, the offenders list for Barbados. Soon we'll know if he is there or not. But let's look at this particular matter, shall we? They're saying there was no physical evidence. That's what was being put out there. There's no physical evidence. It's a he say, she say kind of thing. She's saying, the party member is saying he did the violation. He's saying he never touched her. That's what he's saying, even though they were in the same bed, which is very much possible. It happens all the time where you can be with a guy and nothing happens. It's platonic until it's not platonic, okay? It can be that way. A lot of people don't understand that because you're not of that cloth. You're the kind of person that once you're there, it's going to be there and you're going to be doing the dog. But for some people, they can be with a guy without it going to that length, without knowing each other. It's just a friendship, okay? So he's saying that he never touched her, but there's a jury of 5 women and 4 males, okay? The 5 females, that's a problem. The person who brought the charges should be worried about that, because in Barbados, all 5 of those females will probably marry him if they could, and become the girlfriend or the wife of a member of parliament, although he's on his way out. He's in a lame duck situation. He's on his way out, okay? And the 4 males on the jury, the person who brought the charges should be wary of that also, because they don't know anything about RAPE in Barbados. It does not exist. It does not exist. You may say no, but they think you mean yes. So there are 9 members, 5 and 4, and then you have Pamela Beckles, who's male centric. She likes males. She favors males. So how are you gonna call this? Let's talk on the possibilities here and the preponderance of the evidence. Let's talk about it. What do you think? I think that he stands a very good chance of being found not guilty. Okay? Very, very high chance. Now, percentage-wise, I don't know. It doesn't matter, If he's not guilty, he's not guilty. And if he's guilty, he's guilty. But I feel as though that because they're saying there was no hard evidence, because the women in Barbados will marry or be with any kind of person if they're bringing in some money. They don't worry about the reputation behind the person. They will do you. They will do you if you could pay some bills. And because the guys really don't know anything about RAPE, they'll mess with that. You say yes, you say no. It doesn't matter to them. They think you mean yes. So they don't know anything about RAP. They don't understand that, that jargon about, someone like doing something to you and you're not wanted. It does not compute. So, yeah. And he's saying that he didn't do it. Yeah. I feel that there's a really good chance that Neil, did I even call his name? Neil Rowe. Neil Gabriel Rowe will be found not guilty, because this matter came up in a space, in a time where the people in that particular demographic do not care about females. The people in that particular demographic do not care about reputation. They just want someone that can help them pay some bills, because the males in that demographic do not respect females. Okay? The most disrespected person in the world is the black woman. So that plays out very well in that particular demographic you call Barbados. Okay, you know what I'm saying. You can leave Barbados. You could have left Barbados when you were a child, when you know, like maybe in the 60s, you could have left Barbados, where women were crying over men, and you know, sometimes you would see someone running outside and they're like half naked and that kind of stuff. You can go back there now in 2025. 2025, you can go back there and the same thing is happening. It's like you're in a warp. It's like you're in a place that you cannot move. You're moving backwards. You're not moving forward. The same thing is happening, but it's dressed up. It's a little bit dressed up. Smells a little different, but it's the same thing, the same menu, the same food. Everything is the same. Everything is the same. The same. So with that in mind, you should give me your comment. Okay, comment on this particular blog and let me know what you think. I feel that the fact that it's before Pamela Beckles, when she does her summary, you know, she's going to do it in a way that it's underrated. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. She is not on the female's side. Pamela Beckles is not on and will never be on the side of a female. Okay, all of these are females who want that monster. They like to play in that particular den with monsters. Okay, they start out as a beast, but then the monster comes out. Okay, and there's no beauty in the beast. It seems as though they're all like beastly in some ways, but the male is stronger. The male is always going to be stronger than the female. So it's not proportionate, and you know, you're at a disadvantage, but there are some females who like it that way. And in Barbados, that demographic, they love it that way. They love it that way. If Neil Rowe were to become a murderer and is sentenced in Barbados, on him getting out of the hotel in St. Philip, he can get married. He will have children. He will find someone to be with. Okay? They're not jaded. Barbadian women are not jaded by violent men. They just need them to pay some bills. You need to come out of pocket now. You need to pay some bills, and that's the main thing. And you'll get some sweets, you'll get some honey. Okay? So with that said, I feel that Neil Rowe stands a really, really good chance being found not guilty, because the playing field is Barbados, the landscape is Barbados, and it's a place where they're mostly misogynists, they're mostly incestuous, they're mostly pedophilic, and the females are complicit because they are all about their money, their coins. They're all about living. They have mobby pockets, but champagne taste. You know, they want to live above their means, and they want to make it seem as though they're doing better than they really are. So yeah, there's a big chance. I feel as though Neil Rowe is going to be found not guilty, not because he didn't do it, but because he is a Barbadian, and Barbadian women are complicit with the behavior that he is accused of doing. They're complicit. They don't have a problem with it. They don't have a problem with murderers. They don't have a problem with people who defraud people. They don't have a problem with anything that is showing a great lack of integrity. A huge lack of, a gaping hole when it comes to integrity. Barbadian females, for the most part, don't have a problem with that. They don't have a problem with that. That's not a requirement. All you need to do is be able to pay some bills. Okay? So in essence and in summary, and to make a long story or this short story long, because I made it too long, but to make this to come to a conclusion, I feel as though it's a big chance. And also he's a minister, and Mia Motley, you know, a lot of people may be afraid of her, you know, who knows what that jury thinks about Mia Motley and whatever else. But on the whole, given the environment and the lack of morals and everything else that happens in Barbados, I feel as though Neil Gabriel Rowe, 45 years old, out of Kingsland Terrace Christ Church, and Barbados Labour Party Member of Parliament for St. Michael North, will be found not guilty. This is Sherry Veronica.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.